at this level to constantly bail the team out when they need to be bailed out. He says he feels fortunate. I agree with Barak. I think we're fortunate here, and I know there's going to be lots of people out there who see this performance and say, well, it's Major League Soccer defenders. It's CONCACAF level defenders. He's been embarrassing defenders for the better part of 2 decades. Yeah. We sat here and asked if he did enough in the first leg. We sat here and asked if it's good enough for Messi, and it wasn't, because that's his standard, the bar that he has set. And in today's game, he looked like the only player with urgency. He looked like the only player for Inter Miami that knew what was on the line. He scored 2 goals. One was called back. Yes, one was called back, and an assist that was called back. He had a hand, a foot in 4 goals.
And 7 chances created.
And 7. But it's not even, when you see this man play, he seems to be the only one that recognizes the moment. He's the oldest player on the field. And yet he's the only one that knows what's going on, that knows exactly what's on the line. And that's why Mascherano should feel fortunate. Because in a time of need, and trust me, they were in need. LAFC are 2 goals up, 2-0 on aggregate. Nobody seems to want the responsibility. Nobody seems to create if it's not Messi. He's the
not
only
even
bright
Jordi
light.
Alba, not even Luis Suarez.
No Busquets because he's suspended.
No yeah.
Nobody there has that about him. So you add the flair, you add the creativity, and then, Barak, you add the competitive gene that this man has, that he will not lose, he hates to lose. It just seemed like it was going to be their night.
The hunger.
Yeah.
And you see that this guy, 7 chances created, 2 goals, let alone the disallowed goal, and it was a really even game, But you can say the difference, the only difference, the main difference, the small difference was one team had Lionel Messi and the other not. Yeah. That's the story of Lionel Messi. That's what happened in the World Cup in Qatar.
Yeah.
That's what happened so many times with Barcelona. The difference in a very even match is who has the best.
Yeah.
And this guy, if not the GOAT, is the best.
He doesn't miss. You saw on Wednesday a Denny Bouanga that did miss. And that was the difference for Los Angeles FC. That was the difference. You saw a Messi that when the responsibility is on his shoulders, he picks up the ball, takes the penalty kick, and he looked nervous, didn't he? He put it right where he wanted, and Hugo Lloris, not to his fault, just stood still.
Right.
Can't do anything. He's trying to play a guessing game. You can't do that with Messi. Messi makes you pay. He seems to be just, and this sounds like the obvious thing to say, head and shoulders above everybody else. I'm watching the telecast in Spanish. Rafa Puente del Rio, he says, this is going to sound stupid, but what Inter Miami needs to do right now is give the ball to Messi.
Yeah.
Give the ball to Messi, because there was nobody who wanted the responsibility. There was nobody that looked capable of that moment. And the only one that had it in him, and I think LAFC knew this, obviously, was Messi, and they still couldn't stop him.
And he loves being in these big moments, clearly, for Inter Miami, as we've seen as of late. Not only in MLS, we saw him celebrate that goal with everything the other day, and now taking this responsibility, as you say. But when it comes to Inter Miami as a whole, Barak, were they the better team in this series against LAFC?
In the first game, they were goodish. Nothing happened. Nothing much happened.
Yeah. It was a pretty bad game in general.
But the second game, again, they were really even. I can tell you that Miami was better, but they were better because of Messi.
Yeah.
Put Messi in the other side, probably LAFC would have won by a bigger margin.
Yeah.
If you put Messi in the other side.
Yeah.
That's the whole difference.
And you see the stark contrast in styles. Heavy possession by Inter Miami. You know what they're going to do. They're going to try to get the ball to Messi. They're going to try to overload. They're going to have and prioritize the ball. Well, LAFC doesn't want the ball. They will feel comfortable letting you have the ball. They want you to be lured in so they can get you in transition, and they have the players to do that. Those players didn't show up today. Denny Bouanga in the first half looked like he was a handful. In the second half, when he did have those, he's still a handful. He just missed what he should have made. That's the difference here. Inter Miami have a player that's not going to miss. He's not going to miss. And if he misses, it's going to be news, because that's who he's been throughout his whole career. Inter Miami were better in overall play, but LAFC had more chances. LAFC had the chances to put Inter Miami away. So were they better? Yes. Were they also fortunate? Yes.
When it comes to Inter Miami, you have to be not only better, but 2 times better, at least.
Yeah.
If you're 2 times better, then as Monterrey was 1 year ago, then you got it.
Yeah.
But you need twice.
Yeah, even then, I think it's circumstantial. I mean, Monterrey, and you know this.
Goalkeeper.
No, just Monterrey in general. I mean, Rayados took advantage of an Inter Miami that was, in the first leg, had a red card, and it was Messi that was coming off an injury. In the second leg, Messi still not at 100%, and they got behind the 8 ball very early. Goalkeeper error as well. It's a situation where I believe it's more circumstantial. If both teams are running on all cylinders, it's very difficult to say for Monterrey because you never know what to get with them. You can have world beaters one day, the next day
She's showing her claws.
Yeah. I know. But I do feel that was circumstantial. Is what I'm trying to say there.
Yeah. It's fine. I understand what you're trying to say. You're not trying to mess with me, at least for now. Speaking of messing with the game a little bit, Cesar Arturo Ramos at the end, we know he had a lot of complicated calls in this game. We know the reputation that he has. When it comes to that disallowed goal that we saw, you wanted to get into it right away, starting with the free kick or any one of the plays. Yeah, this is the free kick. Barak, what did you think?
It was the right thing to do. The right thing to do. I mean, probably as Herc said, that was a mistake. But then you have the opportunity with the VAR, and even before the VAR say, okay, my bad, I allow you, but the foul was a caution, right?
Yeah.
So the rules are pretty clear. After a caution, you need whistle
to restart.
Yeah. So he wanted Messi to kick it, but he didn't think twice. But that was it. He's allowed to have a small mistake.
Yeah, and that's what it was. It was human error. Cesar Ramos, the referee in question here, he gives Ryan Hollingshead a deserved yellow, and he then tells Messi, go ahead and shoot if you want to shoot, like allowing him to shoot. You can clearly see Messi look over him, can I shoot? He gives him the wave to shoot. Messi shoots and scores a goal and then says to the LAFC players, sorry, it's goal scored. Somebody in his ear then tell him, no, my man, that's not a goal scored because you gave a yellow. You have to give the whistle to restart. Now, we could sit here and argue if that rule should even be applied because what advantage is that to the attacker?
Yeah, it's a stupid rule.
It's a stupid rule. There's no advantage to the attacker. The defender's getting an advantage there. The defensive team is getting an advantage to set up. So we could sit here and say, well, this is a dumb rule, but it's still a rule. So in the end, I do feel the correct decision was made.
The rules are supposed to not protect the offender. And that rule protects the offender.
Exactly.
Because you give them time, because it was a yellow, to set up. And if it wasn't a yellow, then it's better for the team, right? For a team that had the foul, in that case, Inter Miami. So it has no sense.
Yeah, overall, the goal being disallowed, I'm okay with because of what we just explained, but the overall performance from Cesar Ramos was beyond terrible. There's the double yellow card he doesn't give Ryan Hollingshead. There is the play with Mark Delgado that could have gone either way, pushing the back. You could have, whatever the case may be, not even a talking to. There was a potential penalty kick for Denny Bouanga. Denny Bouanga doesn't go down, but you don't need to go down for a penalty kick. There is the Jordi Alba scuffle in there as well, where you only give one yellow out, and there were players literally wrestling on the ground with each other. So the way he handled this game was one of the worstly handled games I've seen in quite some time. This play in question was right, though.
The only one that we saw that was coming.
And it wasn't he that got it right. It was the fourth official bar.
At least he was fast.
Yes.
It's not like
That's very true.
Right.
That's very true. And reviewing the penalty as well that he gave, he didn't take that much time. Not the best reputation Cesar Arturo Ramos has, and it looks like he just kind of lost control of the situation, and that's why it escalates there to that fight that we saw at the scuffle at the end of the day. But we got to talk about LAFC now. Before we get into it, let's listen to their head coach, Steve Tirondolo.
The match up into multiple periods. I think we controlled the first part of the match very, very, very well. Created some high quality chances really throughout the match. That it gets hectic,